Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. Today we're going to make our pancake wreath. It was a wreath kit that was available inside our shop. Nice and fun. Bright super colors. Welcome with all the flip-flops. Y'all, we are starting with our 14-inch pancake wreath frame. The frame itself has 6 notches on the outside of the frame and 6 notches on the inside of the frame. We're going to go ahead and the hole that matches the notch, we're going to put our pipe cleaner in, pull it through, wrap it around, and twist it right on the top. So we're going to put our pipe cleaner through the hole, come it through the other side, pull it down, twist, and one extra step that I'm going to tell you, I'm making sure my twist is on the top of that frame, but closest to the notch. So out here, it'll be close to the notch. Out here, you see out here, it's out here. And then on the inside, you'll see it's closest to the notch on the inside. So it's going to help us with separation and our layers in the end. And so we want to make sure we do that on our very first step so that we don't miss it. So we're going to begin to put our pipe cleaners in. There are spots for 12 pipe cleaners. Your kit comes with all of the pieces you need for this design. So we have our sign, which I'm already prepping. There is a video inside our YouTube that talks about cutting instructions and cutting the mesh, cutting the ribbons, prepping your sign. It's actually it's not old, but it's this year's one of the Easter kits that we did. But I went through very at length talking about how to prepare your actual material. So make sure you're watching that. We'll go over sizes and stuff during this video, but make sure you watch that video for extra tips, tricks, and just good information. So I've taken the kit comes with a full roll of our 10-inch deco mesh. I already cut it 20 inches long. Our ribbon is going to be the cute sunglass flip-flop combination, the blue polka dots, the stripes, and the mini dots. The other ribbons are for your tails. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. The bow, obviously, I did not cut the ribbons for our tails. I did pre-cut 14 inches long. So I have the pretty cute flip-flops and the polka dots, 14 inches long. So 14 inches for the ribbon, 20 inches for the mesh. So I'm just going to go straight up here, nice and easy. It has one of those lines, pink lines in the middle that I'm going to be able to follow. And I'm just going to scrunch that all the way up. Scrunch it all the way up. And I'm going to work on the outside of this frame first. So I'm going to put that right down in there. Crisscross. Twist, twist. I'm going to kind of overlap these two pieces to make sure our mesh gets a little flat here. Look round and flat like a pancake. And then I'm going to keep moving on. So scrunch it up, scrunch it up, scrunch it up. Try to go as little as you can in the center where you're scrunching. Okay, right down on the top. Get my pipe cleaner through there. Pull it through nice and tight. Twist, twist. Overlap. Perfect. We're going to do that all the way around. We're going to add our mesh to the outside first, and then we're going to add our ribbons to the outside, and then we'll work our way in. We'll overlap all of those. Now, if you can see through the frame, or see through the mesh to the frame at this point, it's totally okay. We have lots of layers going on here, so don't second guess yourself when you're at this point and you can still see the frame. There we go. Beautiful. I love this mesh. It's actually the only thing in the whole design that is glitter. And because it'll be covered up so much and you'll see just a little kind of bit of it peeking through, I love that it'll pick up some of the light and bounce the light off and make it look shiny. And it's not really glitter, it's just shiny foil. Right down in there, nice and tight. Twist, twist, overlap. Make sure the pipe cleaners stay out of the way. Last one on the outside. This is a super easy recipe. Nothing to it, just mesh, ribbons, a bow, a sign. Lots of fun colors, lots of life to your front door. There we go. Okay, then we're going to move on to our ribbon tails for the outside. And we're going to put on our favorite goes on the top. Okay, so we talked about this a lot extensively inside our Wreath Wish class. I talked about not only matching the colors, but also matching the patterns. So in depth, we went into color coordination, matching patterns, getting really comfortable with patterns. That class is still available if you're looking for that class or anything else we offer. You can always go to learnfrommelissa.com and everything will be there. Okay, I'm going to twist this. So I'm going to fix them. Just get that out of the way. There we go. I'm going to fix them and put them in. And then we'll go through all at once and kind of fluff them out. Anything you can do quicker. I have 6 wreaths to make today. Everything we can do quicker or streamline the process will help. So this particular case, I like to pick up my wire cutter just the least amount of times possible. So instead of cutting off all those every single time I put one in, I just do them all at once. Crisscross, twist, 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 twist. Okay, so now every ribbon that we just put in, we want to see every single ribbon. So I'm going to cut off the excess here. I'm pretty sure the kit came with white pipe cleaners. In the end, you don't see the pipe cleaners at all, and I only had 3 or 4 down here. And so, in the end, you don't see them at all. I would prefer to have used white. There's a little bit of white in here. There's not tan in here, but again, in the end, you don't see it at all. So what I'm going to do out here is push that down. Okay, and then I'm going to lift it up and down and side to side. Let me just get this out of the way. Up and down and side to side. And once I have them separated like that and kind of placed, I'm just going to leave it and move on. So I'm going to push that down and down. Pull it up and down, pull it side to side. Up and down, side to side. I'm doing that and keeping that pattern. So I have polka dots, flip-flops, polka dots, flip-flops, polka dots, flip-flops. I'm doing that on purpose so that the pattern is a nice even flow. Looks nice and pleasing to the eye. When you look at it, it's not going to look choppy. It's not going to look kind of broken up. It's going to all flow very nicely. There we go. Now I can see all of our ribbons. Every single one as we go. Perfect. And I'm going to come in and do the exact same thing on our next layer. So I'm going to go with another layer of mesh, another layer of ribbons. You're going to see how this piece of mesh kind of overlaps not only this piece here, but this piece is going to overlap this piece also. So you, in the end, won't see the frame at all. So again, we're going to do with our ruffle right up the center. Right down on top. Crisscross, twist, twist. Overlap on the bottom. Overlap on the top. And then just keep going. So this will start to make the wreath look nice and full. I love the layered look of the ribbons when they start to overlap each other and just give that other layer of dimension. It looks really pretty. Ruffle those all the way up. Now I'm not quite, like, I'm just ruffling. I'm not quite pleating it or making it look like an accordion. I'm just ruffling so that I can have a nice big kind of extension here. And that mesh can kind of extend and take up lots of space. And real pretty. Perfect. So our sign waiting, our sign is ready, it's preparing, it's drying. So that when I'm ready, that's why I prep it at the very beginning, so that when it's ready, or when I'm ready for the sign, it's ready for me. So I do that at the beginning, unless I'm going to staple it on, which a lot of times I do staple them on, just because it's extra security to me. I feel more comfortable with that. But in our kits, since we can't assume that everybody has a staple gun or staple or thing, you know, I provide the zip tie mounts. Okay, so the next layer is our ribbon. Again, going in with one more of the exact same process here. Scrunch up the center, put it down in there. Nice and tight, twist, twist 7 or 8 times. And I'm going to end up cutting off the excess. Of that pipe cleaner because I don't need it. I'm just going to do it all at once. Put it in there. Nice and tight. Go on to the next one. So finding a recipe, you know, I make this wreath lots of times. I don't even know how many, lots of times. Finding a wreath or a style that you can make all the time, over and over and over again, without fail, and knowing and feeling very confident in picking the colors or the ribbon choices or the patterns to match the sign, etc. Once you have that down and you're very comfortable with that, if you're doing this as a business, you're golden, right? The sky is definitely the limit. Learning that first part and what recipe fits you the best and what you like the best, and finding out who your customer is and how you can serve them and provide for them what they're looking for is a huge battle. You learn that with time and experience. Once you learn that and you have that down, the rest gets easier. I mean, I guess the rest also gets harder, but in different ways. Alright, so we're going to take our ribbons here. Now on this one, I'm going to push that forward and kind of push the whole thing forward. Remember on the outside, I just pushed it straight down to kind of squish it all together. I'm going to try to push this in a little bit to separate this layer and this layer so you can see them a little bit more. So I'm not going to try, I'm going to do it. I'm going to push it in, okay, and then do the same thing, pull it apart, pull it apart. So it just kind of gives me a little bit more room in between there. Now what you could also do, which I tried once, you could make these tails a little bit shorter than the outside tails. Now, I totally support that. I totally love that. It actually did look pretty good, but I'm just so used to cutting them 14 inches that it's just a habit, really. But if you're looking for a little more sight of that outside ribbon, you could cut the inside ribbon a little bit shorter. I think previously I cut it at 12. I did it one time and I did not record it. But the outside was 14 inches still, which I'm standing by and sticking with. The inside was about 12.5 inches. A little bit different. Both look great. So whichever you prefer. Yep, just like that. Perfection. So fun, really bright, nice and colorful. Oh so famous and very popular polka dots. If you're a pink person, this is definitely for you. This is adorable. Okay, so from here we have to put our sign on and make our bow. So I'm just going to take these off and add our pipe cleaners to the back. I'm just going to slide that in and then twist to kind of secure it so it doesn't come up. And then do the same thing to the other side. If you have purchased this as a kit, a lot of times, or sometimes, these little square mounts end up slipping underneath the flap of the box, and sometimes you think that they're not there, but they are there. My husband and myself double check all of the boxes. Sometimes things get past both of us, but we do try our best. Okay, so we're going to make our bow is the last thing, of course. I went with this really darker, not dark, but darker purple to match those flip-flops in the side turns out. I know it's going to be so cute. So I'm just going to dovetail those ends. By the way, every single one of these, also you can see it in that cutting video that I was talking about. Every single one of these are kind of have a V shape. All I did was fold that ribbon, cut on the fold up towards that edge, so it gives it a nice little V kind of look. So we're going to start with our purple on the bottom. Okay, 2.5 inch purple on the bottom. I'm going to start with a 7-inch tail and a 6-inch loop. 7-inch tail, 6-inch loop, and I'm going to pinch. And then kind of pull those apart there. Then twist. Another nice size loop, kind of matching the other side. Pinch. Another loop. Perfect, just like that. Pinch. And twist. Put it right down in there. Slide it right down. Now this layer, this ribbon, this bow, has 2 loops on one side. Two loops on one side, 2 tails on the other side, and 1 loop. So every time we add another layer, we're going to go crisscross. So the 2 loops will be over here. The next one, the 2 loops be on the opposite side. Really cute with the stripes. Pinch. Twist, loop, pinch, twist, and loop. So our first layer is 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. From there, everything just gets a little smaller. Everything gets a little shorter, a little smaller, so that you're going in towards that bow, towards the center, up to the top, making it look like a layered bow. So then of course I'm going to come in with some polka dots. Again, we talked about in detail matching patterns and colors as well as supplies. There are a lot of bonuses in that class, as well as bow bonuses. So if you've taken that class with us, make sure you have watched all of the tutorials. Pinch, twist, and loop. Again, you can find all the ways we can help you over at learnfrommelissa.com. I'm just kind of building that bow as I make it, kind of fluffing it out as I make it, so that you can see kind of how it would go. So just pointing it out here that I would make sure every layer I can see the next layer. So purple was my first layer. I still want to see the purple, but I want to see the next layer. I still want to see the polka dots, but I want to see my last layer. So I'm just making sure that I'm blending these good so I can see all the layers. Now my last layer has a little loop on the top. It's about 3 inches. Pinch, twist, and loop. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, and loop. Okay, and then again, my two ribbon loops, goodness, are going to go opposite. So I'm going to put my 2 loops over here. Because we added that one little loop on the top, we actually ended up with a tail on both sides. So I'm just making sure that those 2 loops are in the right spot. Okay, then I'm just going to lift that off of there. Grab my pipe cleaner, wrap it around the top. Okay, so I'll bring my center loop directly to the top. Kind of wiggle that out a little bit. Have my pipe cleaners in the back so I can hold on to them still. And then just fluff that bow a little bit more. I cut that one a little bit short, so I'm going to match that on the other side so it doesn't look like it was an error. And then once it's actually in, I can fluff it out a little bit more, but this is what we're working with so far. Again, I still want to make sure I can see all those layers and I'm not hiding anything. So we have our bow done, our wreath is done. Now the hard part. I do want my sign to cover up 1, 2, 3, 4 pipe cleaners. So I'll always put it in the same in the same way. And now the hardest part of the whole thing is putting our pipe cleaners through all those layers of mesh to attach it to the frame. Kind of wiggling my fingers in there. Coming up empty so far. Wiggling my fingers in there. So what happens is the wire on the pipe cleaner is actually 2 wires wrapped together. And it always catches those, they split a teensy tiny little bit, and they are always catching one of those pieces of mesh. It drives me bonkers. I'm just going to make sure that that is in good before I go and secure nice and tight. And then I know the ribbons kind of look like a mess, but we will do that and kind of put those all together at the end. So instead of playing with the ribbons as I go along, again, I have 6 wreaths to make today, so instead of playing with them as I go along, I make sure I just fluff them nicely at the end, so I'm not worried about fluffing them as I go along. I made sure when I put them in, I separated them up and down, separated them side to side, so that I know when I put them where I want to, their final destination, they will stay. Okay, so I'm going to take this over, flip it over, and take our pipe cleaners and just attach it now to the actual frame so that it's not going anywhere. It's nice and snug on the other side. Twist that and tuck it underneath. You see these extra holes here? Those, if I needed to, I if I needed room, or if I needed, you know, if I didn't have extra pipe cleaner, I just tap this one a little bit, and I needed to just, and I didn't have room to go around the whole frame, I could just put my pipe cleaner in there. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and add our bow right here. Just trying to get my little fingers in there, get that through. Again, this is definitely the hardest part of the whole thing. Once it's in, again, make sure it's nice and secure, and you're all done. Just kidding. You have one big important thing to do. You're going to make sure, first of all, you're going to fluff your bow, make sure it looks nice in there, nicely placed. Okay, that's number one. Number two, where'd that one go? Number two, you're going to make sure you go through and touch every single ribbon to make sure it is in the right spot. You can see them all. No one's hiding. All of my tails are all nice and pointy and nice straight sticking out. This is going to be so bright on your front door. For those of you who purchased the kit, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. For those of you who didn't and are still watching, I appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something fun, something new, something you want to try. If you're looking for wreath kits that we do offer, so again, it comes with your mesh, your sign, your pipe cleaners, your ribbons for the tails, your ribbons for the bow, the mounting squares on the back. So it comes with everything you need to make this wreath or the kit. You can check everything out if you go to learnfrommelissa.com. There is a spot there that says wreath kits. It'll bring you directly to the spot in our shop where we sell kits. If you're looking for any other classes, our favorite tools, our favorite suppliers, all sorts of things, you'll find them all there on that directory. Again, it's Learn from Melissa, M-E-L-I-S-S-A, learnfrommelissa.com. Again, I hope you enjoyed. So super cute. Let me zoom you out here. Super cute. We're about 24 inches wide, and we're still super thin on that pancake style. Again, on the pancake frame, if you're looking for the frame itself, there is a link directly in that learnfrommelissa.com. It'll bring you directly to the actual, just the frames if you're looking to create on the frames. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, y'all.